Dana White said something about Kamaru Usman. He was being interviewed and he said, and this is a direct quote, he wants the rematch bad, but he said, I can't tell you the weight that's been lifted off me. There's a lot of pressure that goes along with the run that he has on, and tying and breaking Anderson's record, all that stuff. There's a lot of pressure, so he's looking forward to the rematch. Now, what Dana White said is very interesting. Not because of what Dana White said, but because of what Kamaru Usman said to Dana White, which is, I can't tell you the weight that's been lifted off me. Now, the welterweight division as of right now, it's very... You have a lot of options for the champion, which is Leon Edwards. You can do the three-piece Minnesota business over with. You can restore balance and make the rematch. And the least likely one, Hamzat and Leon. Now, if I'm Kamaru Usman, the biggest threat to me that will take away that opportunity from me is Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal is the most likely one in my opinion. The fact that he has set the pieces for a fight, which is very smart from Jorge Masvidal. He said that even if Leon Edwards loses, which I think sincerely he believes, even if Leon Edwards loses, I will fight him. And he said that because he has nothing to lose. If he did fight Leon Edwards, he could still make money, whether Leon Edwards is a champion or not. And Jorge Masvidal made a very smart decision by calling out Leon Edwards before the fight. He said, okay, if you lose, I'm right here. I'm right here. Let's get this thing over with. Now, that's the biggest threat for Kamaru Usman. Biggest threat because Leon Edwards is involved. Okay, Leon Edwards is involved. Now, the reason why Khamzat Chimaev is not involved in this whole thing is that he's not involved with Leon Edwards. He is not involved with Leon Edwards. Therefore, these two guys that are involved with Leon Edwards can and might just get the title shot before he does. Now, if you're Kamaru Usman, okay, now, before that, Leon Edwards, oh, he took me down. Leon Edwards said that he's not really picking. He's not really looking for a fight against anybody. You know, he will take anybody. He's not really gonna make a decision, but he's fine with any fight that he gets. But he does want Jorge Masvidal to win a fight, at least win fights, you know. And it's true because Jorge Masvidal has just lost to the current number 2 contender, which is Colby Covington. Now, let's just keep Covington out of this one, just because I think he is whatsoever, just like Khamzat Chimaev is not correlated to Leon Edwards. In any way, he is not correlated to Leon Edwards. Now, if I'm Kamaru Usman, I see Jorge Masvidal going out there. What Kamaru Usman needs to do is dismiss everybody, dismiss every contender, because he can. Now, there's two options for Kamaru Usman to get the fight. There's two options. He can talk smack to Leon Edwards. Now, before the fight, I would consider Kamaru Usman as a fan favorite. When everybody doubted him he just, that drove him. When everybody doubted him, when everybody was saying that, okay, Jorge will beat this guy, he has the boxing skills, okay, Colby Covington has this crazy pace, has crazy cardio, he will beat Kamaru Usman, and he did not. Okay, well then let's do it again. He did not. Okay, Jorge Masvidal, this guy now has a chance, he has a full training camp, gets KO'd. His best friend, Gilbert Burns, put him out there. This man will submit Kamaru Usman in the ground because Kamaru Usman will try to wrestle, then get submitted. His striking is not that good as Gilbert Burns. He will just get murdered because Gilbert Burns has very powerful hands. That was the narrative, and every single time that was the case, Kamaru Usman just said, I don't think so. He broke the narrative every single time. And he became a fan favorite. When people doubted him, he showed that he was not gonna let that get to him, you know? It was, but it was not gonna affect his performance. And coming into the fight, when Leon Edwards beat Kamaru Usman, that was the fan favorite coming into the fight. You can't consider Kamaru Usman as the fan favorite, but when Leon Edwards knocked out Kamaru Usman, that glory that Kamaru Usman had transferred to Leon Edwards. And Leon Edwards is now the fan favorite. And Kamaru Usman's two options here are to dismiss Leon Edwards. He can call Leon Edwards out and go, well, that was your worst performance, and you don't want to rematch me? He's scared and all that, but that would make him a sore loser. That would make him look like he's salty and that he's being very dismissive of Leon Edwards. That proved the doubters wrong. Leon Edwards is now a fan favorite. I now love Leon Edwards. I used to not even care, because it's one thing to care about a fighter, but it's one thing to acknowledge a fighter, but it's another thing to care about them. And I just acknowledge Leon Edwards, but I did not care. I did not give a damn. But now Leon Edwards made me give a damn. And Kamaru Usman, the option that Kamaru Usman has is, first of all, he can talk smack to Leon Edwards, but it would not work because people now love Leon Edwards. People are now attracted to the story of being from nothing, now being everything. Got him there. And when people see that, that those type of people, like, the Michael Bispings, the Charles Oliveira, they just fall in love with the story. It's a damn compelling story, You just can't help but fall in love with the story because it sort of gives you this, it just warms your heart. And Kamaru Usman can't talk smack to the fan favorite. Do you guys remember when Cowboy Cerrone was talking smack to Conor McGregor at the press conference? And this was not their fight. This was when Cowboy or Conor McGregor was not gonna fight Cowboy. This was back in the day. And Cowboy was booed. He was booed because Conor McGregor was the big guy in the stage. He was the man of the hour. And this just tells you that you can't do that, Kamaru Usman can't dismiss Leon Edwards and go, oh yeah, you beat me with just a lucky shot, oh it was just a fluke. He can't do that because then he would be hated. And I don't think the guy wants to be hated. The guy does not want to get hated, bro. That is my my R-stick drifting. My bad. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But Kamaru Usman, his second option is a, but this is Kamaru Usman's greatest option, which is to dismiss every single contender. What I mean by that is, tell Hamza Chimaev, tell, bro, my controller, tell Jorge Masvidal, tell all the contenders that want to fight Leon Edwards that, first of all, Hamza Chimaev, who is that guy? That guy beat an unranked opponent that took the fight in his last fight in his entire contract, against a guy that has a final, that only has one fight in his contract, an unranked guy that not has a loss in a very long time now. I don't know how long that is, but he can pretty much dismiss Hamza Chimaev and go, well, you beat nobody. You beat Gilbert Burns. Well, I beat Gilbert Burns with a jab. He can dismiss Hamza Chimaev. He can. Jorge Masvidal, he can tell Jorge Masvidal, how is he getting a shot? I beat that guy, and I beat him twice. And he is getting a title shot because he beat Gilbert Burns that I beat with a jab. He can dismiss Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal and Gilbert Burns. He can dismiss them. If Kamaru Usman wants that title shot, he needs to dismiss these guys. You can tell Colby Covington, that might insert himself in that picture, that I beat you though. I beat you not just once, but twice. You're coming off a win of somebody that I beat twice. That is a joke, Colby. Colby is a joke. He can dismiss these guys. But the question is, will he go out there and dismiss all these guys? And it's not a question of will he, because I don't care if he will not or he will. He needs to. It's a matter of need if he wants that title shot. Okay, and you want the title shot while it's fresh, and it's fresh in people's minds. It's fresh in people's memories, and people are still clamoring, people are still buzzing around about it. And you can really do it now. I mean, do you guys remember what happened to Yuri Prohaska and Glover Teixeira? Glover Teixeira, that, in my opinion, was probably one of the greatest fights at light heavyweight. Probably. Or arguably. And when Glover Teixeira took some time, he did not call out Yuri Prohaska immediately. There was now contenders. That is what happens when you wait for your call out, or you don't do your call out when it's fresh in people's minds. Oh my god, bro, this controller. Okay, I just need to pause it. Jesus Christ, I might get KO'd here. And when Yuri Prohaska fought Glover Teixeira, Glover Teixeira could have called out Yuri Prohaska while the amazing fight was still fresh in people's minds. It was still fresh. Okay, it was still in people's minds that, oh, the fight happened. Oh, people were still buzzing about it, you know? And Glover Teixeira did not do anything. Therefore, there are contenders that rised up, you know? Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill, Ankalaev. That is what happens when you wait for your opportunity. You want to immediately look for your call out, you know? And before Kamaru Usman or before Leon Edwards finds himself contenders, You want to put yourself in that position. You want to tell Leon Edwards, bro, I am your hardest fight. Don't you want to rematch me? You want to tell Leon Edwards, oh my lord, that I am right here. I am ready to go. Before, and I know there are some, some things that you just can't do. Sometimes, the doctor, you can't fight yet. The doctor tells you that you can't fight yet. But you want to at least put yourself in that picture that you can. That you can and you will. You want to tell Leon Edwards that you will, and that your game. And that you are prepared to go out there and fight him. And dismiss every single contender. Tell Hamza Chimaev, you beat an unranked opponent in his last fight in the organization. You want to tell Jorge Masvidal you're getting a title shot because you criminally, yeah, it is actually assault. That is, oh my lord, that is quite literally assault. You can tell Jorge Masvidal you literally assaulted the champion before he was champion, and because of that you're getting a title shot because you punched somebody and they couldn't punch back. Now you're getting a title shot. Kamaru Usman wants to dismiss these guys. He will want to dismiss these guys. If he wants that title shot, he will need to dismiss these guys. He will need to tell Colby, stay in your lane, you're not yet there. You'll beat a guy that I beat twice. Tell Gilbert Burns, if the fight with Jorge Masvidal does happen and he does win, tell Gilbert Burns that stay in your lane, I beat you with a jab and I'll do it again. You want to dismiss every contender that Leon Edwards could fight with. So by elimination, you are now the #1 contender. But if you're Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru Usman is not really doing what he needs to do to get the title shot, but if you're Kamaru Usman, you are going to want to dismiss every contender that Leon Edwards could face. He could potentially face. Because by elimination, you are now the #1 contender.